Hey y'all, let's talk about building a rock solid foundation for all of those New Year's resolutions and goals you've set. You know, just like me, things you've set. Welcome to Purpose for Productivity. I'm Florence. Every year, millions of people select a word of the year. We love getting that word that we're going to go back to over and over and over again to remind ourselves of a target we've set. But you know what? I found out that I needed three things that set me up for success, and it was a revelation. And here's how I came to it. When I was in college, I just got to a point where I was super frustrated. It seemed that I was perpetually just not accomplishing my goals and my desires. It didn't matter how many classes I went to, how many books I read, how many assignments I completed, how active I was. I just simply felt like I was stuck in the same place no matter what, like the proverbial hamster on a wheel. So one weekend, I decided to take a chill pill. I went on what I call a reflection weekend. I put myself in time out, y'all. I put myself in time out. But during that weekend, what I did was ended up really digging in and doing some writing and reflecting. And what it led me to was one, a passage of scripture in the Bible that helped me to focus myself and come up with my own core operating system. And that's before having a core operating system was a thing. And through the rest of the year, I would return to that passage of scripture, reading it over and over again. It got to when I got to a place where I was frustrated or scared or whatever, I could recall that scripture at a moment's notice. And it would be that very time that I ended up finding my life scripture, which I may share with you one day. But at the same time, in that same weekend, I sat down and wrote out a bunch of positive statements about me, to me. And since then, since I wrote those down in the morning before I would leave my dorm room, I would read them. I would read my passage of scripture. I would read those statements that I wrote about myself every day before I walked out my door. What has that done for me? Done. I do the same thing today. I write out a scripture, I write out my affirmations, and I write out my word. Well, you may want to say, well, Florence, when do you do that? Well, every year between October and December, I order a new planner. Actually, I ordered three planners. One of them I put in this red book that I use all the time, and I'm regularly referring to it because it stays open on my desk. It stays on my desk all the time, and I use it every day. 365 days a year, I use this thing. Well, when I get it, the first thing I do is I open it up to 2 pages and I write out the scripture, the affirmations, and the word of the year in this book before I write anything else in here. Just by the way, links to my planners that I use are in the description. But hey, there are no sponsors here. I bought them with my own cash. For 2024, my scripture focus is Psalm 100. And I want you to know about it. And that description is also in the description below. So if you want to read it, I'll have it written out there. You can read those 5 scriptures which make up Psalm 100, and they're fire. They are absolute fire. Here's the thing. Being productive, no matter what your faith is or is not, being productive is not going to work for you, in my opinion, if you don't have a core set of messages and a core belief system that you can rely on when life gets hard, when it gets tough, because it gets hard and it gets tough for all of us. Life happens. As one of the gurus in the business say, the winds blow on us all. So all the strategies, all the techniques, all the software and equipment will be futile without that core belief system that you rely on. You just won't move forward. I encourage you to give SAW a try. That's scripture, affirmations, and word of the year. See how it works for you. For me, it was a game changer. Now, I want you to stick with me And I'm asking you to stick with me in 2024 so that you can build your fortress and crush your goals and achieve everything that you want. And oh, by the way, while you're doing all of this, remembering and checking the links, remember to hit the subscribe button to get more tips for 2024. And if you're curious about my word for 2024, stick around and watch this next video. I spill the beans in there.